So it was my first time speaking on stage as the CEO of Master Networks, and I was getting ready to take the stage, and my wife had come backstage and give me a pep talk. Hey, you can do this. And I said, where are you guys going to be sitting? Because I don't know if I can make eye contact with you. Or she said, hey, we have front row. We're in the front row. I said, perfect. I'm thinking, don't look in the front row because my family's going to be there, and I just need to like focus because I'm nervous. So I look right back to the middle of the room, and for some reason, my family got moved from the front row to the very back. And all I can remember is my kids sitting in the back, excited, giving me thumbs up, grinning from ear to ear, like super pumped that I'm on stage. And it was a little bit emotional. Actually, it was quite emotional. And I remember thinking in that moment, I'm not telling my kids about the life as an entrepreneur. I'm doing life with them as an entrepreneur. And I realized there's a few lessons that I've taught my kids all along the way about being a successful entrepreneur. And I want to share those with you because if you have children, or even if you have grandchildren or others, there are people who are watching what you do. And these are great lessons you can teach the next generation, because I believe we have an obligation to teach the next group coming up how to be a successful entrepreneur. All right, the first thing that I shared with my kids is really how to invest in themselves. And I have previous videos that you can check out about why it's important to invest in yourself. But really the key is to help them understand that I read books constantly because I have an interest in them. Now, whether they have an interest in entrepreneurial books or not isn't the key, but it's about self-education, investing in yourself by providing an opportunity to plug into books, seminars, and events. So what I've done is I bring my kids to my events. I have 3 rules when they come. They have to dress up, show up, and they have to take notes, right? That's what they have to do at these events. So I've taken my kids to events I've spoken at. I went to an event for 5 days in Nashville, and I took my son with me so he could learn and be around other people. In fact, I'll never forget the time when we were sitting really close to the front, and Tony Robbins was one of the key speakers, and he did like 5 straight hours. And there's a lot, if you've never been to Tony Robbins, it's tons of music, jumping up and down. And my son got to be there with me. We got to experience that together. And I remember it opened up a light bulb for him. It opened up a vision of what was important of investing in himself. And so that's an absolute crucial key that you can teach the next generation to invest in themselves if they want to be an entrepreneur. The next thing that I've tried to teach my kids is how to create something of value and then potentially sell it or offer it out to the marketplace. Actually, at the event that I was describing before where I saw my kids in the back, because I told them they had to take notes, at the very end, I have this picture of them coming up at the stage, at the corner of the stage, showing me their notes that they had taken of my keynote speech. Well, fast forward a number of years later, my son comes to me and says, Dad, so many people see us as kids at this event and they want to see what we're doing for notes. What if I put this into an ebook that I could share with other people? Like, that's a brilliant idea. So he went with his sister and they created this ebook of their years of notes that they have taken from their perspective at this event. And then my son at 10 years old got on stage and he presented that book, that ebook, to the audience and sold it, and sold over $1,000 of a $3.99 ebook to that group because he created something of value, learned then how to get on stage and offer it as a product for sale. He was able to make money, and it opened up his mind as a simple process of what to create an idea to income. How could he create an idea and turn it into income? And we demonstrated that with him in person, in real time. And now he's caught that entrepreneurial bug. The third thing that I try to share with my kids is I say this phrase to them, you've probably heard it yourself, which is show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's so important for me to surround myself, but help them see why they want to surround themselves with good people. And inherently, most people are good, but it'll be people who invest in them, who believe in them, who help build their confidence, not tell them, hey, that's a dumb idea or whatever. And so when I surround myself with successful people that do that for me, I actually include my kids in that process. So when I go to events and when I speak at things, I bring my kids, or I'll involve my kids in certain things, and I introduce them to the other speakers, or I introduce them to people that are connected with me, because I don't want just me to have that group. I want those people to influence my kids. And that's been for the last number of years. And what's so cool is when I see my kids go to an event and then they get to meet the speaker and they're like, hey, how's it going? How's football? Like, what's happening? And my kids feel a part of it. And now as they're getting into their teenage years, they're becoming friends with these people. It's funny. My daughter will get these messages from some of the ladies in our organization who are successful. They'll message her on Instagram. They'll see things she's doing. Hey, you got this. You can do this. Think about that as a young entrepreneurial minded kid or teenager. You're in high school, middle school. You're connecting through social media with adults who are positive thinking, who invest in themselves, who are entrepreneurial minded, and they're pouring back into you as a young adult or a youth and saying, you can do this. This is a great idea. Or I saw you doing this. It builds their confidence. And the real key to all of this is confidence is one of the the great separators that a young entrepreneur can have, right? There's so many things around the world telling people you can't do it, you shouldn't do it, you should do it this way. When they have an idea and they can get confidence in it, that's what will help them be successful in the future. So these are just a few of the things that I've taught my kids. What are the things you're teaching your kids or grandkids or young people around you to be entrepreneurial minded? Share that in the comments. And if you liked this video, go ahead, like and subscribe and share this with another entrepreneurial minded person, because I believe we have a duty and an obligation to share what we've learned to the next generation. When we do, we create the next generation of successful entrepreneurs.